Denise Boyd here, and today's episode of Payday Your Way Friday is titled Don't Neglect the Small Things in Your Business. Yes, so today is all about not neglecting the small things or people in your business. So, look, today I'm super excited because this is something that unfortunately a lot of people do. They neglect the small things because the small things, like I talked about on Monday, will bring growth and will eventually turn into big things. So do not neglect the small things. So what are some of the small things that you don't need to neglect in your business? Well, first and foremost, don't neglect starting one. So you, my friend, are an asset. All of us are assets. Some of us don't believe we are. Some people or some of us feel unworthy or not worthy enough to be an asset. But you are. I don't care how you feel. Put your feelings to the side. Let me help you push those to the side, because literally, feelings aside, you are your greatest asset. And until you believe that, no one else will believe that. So if you don't have a business yet, your first seed is going to be to plant one. Now, does it have to be something that you create yourself? No, you could actually join something that's already there. There are several businesses that you could do where you don't have to be the one that starts everything. And even if you do start everything, there are ways that you can do it without it causing you a lot of headache and also helping you with a smaller learning curve. So if I would have gotten into YouTube maybe 10 years ago or however many years ago, my learning curve would have been huge. But because I came into it at this time, it wasn't. Plus, I love to learn. So I started learning from some of my favorite YouTube channels. And honestly, you all, just paying attention helped me to figure things out. And this was even before I started looking at people in the business, just people who were just doing regular old funny YouTube channels about Disney, stuff like that. I would pay attention. I pay attention to details, even the small ones. And because I paid attention to the small details, I was able to get in here and get it done and watch it grow. And that's what I want. That's what I want for you all. That's what I'm wanting to see happen for you. So definitely, if you haven't started a business, start one. And if you feel like you have started and you're not going as fast as you think you should, don't worry about that. So I think I said this on Monday's episode. I can't remember, but I will make sure I put that link in the description for you, okay? So if you have started a business but you don't feel like you are where you should be, look back, see where you were, and you 9 times out of 10 are not there anymore. And one of the things I like to say is, do not judge your day 90 against someone's year 9. So if you've only been in the business for 90 days, then your business will look nothing like anyone's business who's been, running for 9 years or more, or even 1 year. But here's the deal. If you look at any of the people who started businesses, they started somewhere, but then they kept cultivating that seed, and guess what it did? It started to grow. I mean, everything, just like Amazon. People thought that Jeff Bezos was crazy when he started a bookstore, because that's really what it was. Because I was one of his favorite customers. I was always on there buying books for school, because at the time I was getting an education degree. So yes. So Amazon was just a bookstore. And then eventually, guess what happened? Boo. I mean, it's huge now. And that's because he had that vision and he didn't let it go. So it all starts small. So visions are technically big, but they're small because they haven't even happened yet. You haven't planted the seed for it, and your seed is your business. And then the next thing, of course, is not to judge your wherever you are against where someone else is. Like if I were to judge myself against a famous YouTuber, why would I do that? I've only been doing this since July of last year of 2021, and right now it's March of 2022 as I'm recording it. So yes, definitely don't judge. The best way to judge things is against your own progression. So some people have vision boards, but a lot of people don't have completed boards. Now, you don't necessarily have to do that. You don't even have to have a vision board. You can write down the things that you want, literally write it down. And as you complete those things, put a check mark by it and a date, or just a date and say completed, whatever you want to do. So that's another small thing that you don't want to neglect in your business. So the small people. So a lot of people think that they are the small people in their business, especially if they're doing it alone. So don't neglect the fact that you are alone, because you are in a learning season, and because you are alone, you get to choose who you want to grow with you. And that is actually a great decision to make. Now, don't make it lightly. Don't always say yes to every opportunity. I know it seems easy in the beginning to go after it because it's more exposure, or in some cases more money, but more exposure and more money is not always going to make you happier, point blank. So definitely make sure that you start with your core values before you do any of those things in regards to saying yes to different opportunities, okay? And if you have to say no, you don't have to say it in a mean way. Just say right now is not a good time, but maybe in the future things could happen, okay? So as far as the other small people, like if you are a busy mom and you have kids walking around, they are technically kind of a part of your business, because for me, my kids are why I do what I do now, my health and my kids. Because my health sat me down, I'm using, what I want for my family to help lift me up, bring me back up, and it has. So here's the deal. Because of my kids, I'm where I am. And even though they're the small people kind of in my business, they are very important because they help me to remember why I'm doing this. And they are actually some of the biggest helpers in my business. So my now 8-year-old, I probably said this before, she wanted to be a YouTuber, and I let her, not knowing that her starting that was going to give me another idea. The ideas that you have, you all, in your business, or as you are, going through your business, are small things, but they turn into big things if you plant them and cultivate them. So I'm not going to tell you what that idea is just yet, but I promise that it will be here. You'll hear about it before it gets here. But the goal is summer of this year, 2022. So that's another small thing. So the last small thing that I don't want you to neglect in your business, and this is going to sound really crazy, is you time. Because literally you need time. Like a lot of people, especially me, I did this, and I'm still working on it, as a matter of fact. So I like to get things done. I'm a get her done type of person. And because I'm that kind of person, I often neglect time for me. And honestly, doing that is a huge no. Don't do that. Make sure that you take time for you, because when you take time for you, you're better able to actually go out and help people. Because remember, the business that you are running or want to run has to be one that will give value to others. If it doesn't give value, then it's not going to be a sustainable business. It just won't be. You can't just say, hey, I'm open, people are going to come by, because it will not happen that way. So take care of you, find that value in you, and find what gives you rest and a moment of peace. I mean, you don't have to sit and meditate for 2 hours a day, but you do, my friend, you do have to take time for yourself, whether it's reading a book, lighting a candle, taking a hot bath, whatever it is that you do, okay? And do not be upset about what other people think about it, because this is yours, okay? So your small venture could turn into something huge, but remember that you have to start somewhere. Don't neglect the little small stepping stones, and do not fall into the trap of comparing yourself or wherever you are in your business to where someone else is in their business, especially if it's higher, because everyone has to start somewhere. Don't neglect it. And furthermore than that, don't neglect you, because you are the awesome sauce in your business, point blank. Now look, I am so happy that you stayed with me throughout this video. Now, because this is going with, Motivational Mondays, I would love for you to go back to that if you haven't, because that one is also about the small things, okay? It all goes together. And then next week, of course, I will bring you a different thing. And if you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to check out my posts. If you subscribe, they should pop up in your feed so that you'll know what next week's thing will be. All right? And so don't forget, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and definitely click that bell icon so that you'll be notified when my next posts come up. Thanks so much for watching. And as I always say, stay peaceful, positive, and productive. I'll see you next time.